So we have a lot to go over in this video, including why you should not be opening your rune chance chests right now. You should save them for a week or two. We have a ton of info with the new roadmap, new solo dungeons, the new rune system, along with a bit of Q&A revealing what the devs are working on, including housing, legendary gear, life skills, and what appears to be a lot of teasers for upcoming tier 3 with all this legendary stuff. First of all, those purple runes and why you actually shouldn't be opening them right now. Well, it's because we'll be getting a whole different rune management system. This will be coming to the Korean server on April the 2nd. Very likely for us within a few days of that or the following week. And what this change implements is ultimately a new way for runes to level up, a streak breaker system. So whenever you receive new runes, you will gain XP towards leveling that rune up, and when you receive enough XP it will automatically level up. This is completely different to what we have right now. You can see where it auto translates it right here. If it fails, the rune experience increases and then it will automatically level up at some point. In its current state with rune growth probability, if you want to level up a rune, say from 60 to 61, it has a 77% chance to fail the upgrade. 21% chance to succeed and level up once, and a 2% chance to succeed and level up twice. What this means is you're going to need 80 runes of one type in order to go from 60 to 80. That doesn't seem so bad, but when you consider there's like over 100 different runes, you end up needing over 10,000 total runes to get them all leveled up. And that's just considering like a drop rate of 9%. These can be even less depending on the exact rune type. So with this new system coming and them implementing that streak breaker, so every time it fails you gain XP, that's going to help a ton to get these leveled up far quicker. Because every time you fail, you'll contribute to a guaranteed success the next time. And that's why I would recommend not actually opening these packs just yet. Get the bare minimum, get your synergies. I still have yet to do that. I honestly thought I'd probably jump straight into trials, go to tier 5 and just get the runes here and also get them from dynamic events and field bosses. But there's also something to be aware of. If you look at Rancor Wood right now, you can only get necklace runes, belt runes, and that's it. In the Chapel of Madness, weapon runes and belt runes. So you can't get ring runes right now from trials, from those chests. So you may want to open some of your packs. But again, don't expect them to level up too fast, with a 77% fail chance. This new system will be huge because you won't have to deal with inventory and the actual runes. Whenever you receive a rune, it will just be added to this like rune book, and then you can assign that rune as many times as you want to all of those other slots. Now jumping to this roadmap, we can see some additional upcoming content. This includes the new solo dungeons. They've put a little bit of a preview here in the video clip, and there are some cool bosses. This one's a little bit odd, like flower themed orc, but they have put some more emphasis on not just raw damage output. You're going to need to play mechanics a bit more in order to beat these new ones. And it's just going to be 2 new solo dungeons like we have right now, but 4 bosses. And quite cool, there's nearly what looks like a dragon boss. Still a little bit weird with regards to its legs, they're not a true dragon. It's still somewhat humanoid. And then this like ice Aragon boss, and that's all 4 of them. You can see the translations for the Korean text here. 4 new bosses, and they will actually be removing parkour sections. They've gotten a lot of feedback, people don't like them. So like the water section in our current solo dungeon, the jumping between the tiles in the other one, and honestly I'm fine with that. It can just be quite frustrating, especially if you have some lag. And they did say they would add the ability in tier 5 to farm runes and T2 weapons. So maybe they will add more replay ability to that, allowing you to do tier 5 and still get rewarded regardless of the weekly limit. What's really cool is we'll be getting a new weapon dye system. So you will actually be able to customize the appearance, the color appearance of these different weapons, rather than being stuck with the default. They will also be reworking restoration coins a little bit. Those are simply the coins used to respawn faster in PvP. And adding new combat positioning system. So you're going to have like head attacks, back attacks, and also even side attacks, granting you like additional damage boosts. I'm happy for them to add back attacks. Makes a lot of sense, particularly in PvE. If you're like behind the boss, you should have like more damage output than if you're in the front. Basically meaning you do need a tank to be in the front tanking the boss. If you have it as a DPS, they'll just be losing damage because they're, say, not behind. We'll also be getting a raid adventure with a side story codex, inter-server siege, and a new co-op dungeon, again in May, called Belentra. We didn't really get much details on that other than it's coming. So that's interesting, but very curious what rewards they will add into it. And then, yeah, confirmed 12-man raids coming in May as well. They did give a bit of a teaser of what the 12-man raids would look like, and ultimately it's mainly going to be a boss fight with everybody against the boss. Again, you're going to have to create 12-man groups. I hope they introduce something like trials with increased difficulty, and you probably will end up needing like a static with different people coordinated to do certain mechanics, and it should be overall quite a bit of fun. I personally really do like that big PvE group content, not just the chaos that is these field bosses. But they did have some Q&A then, which did announce some few things like adding more anti-heals for PvP, confirming that Archboss weapons are not always supposed to be best in slot, and they're supposed to have some that are just for a unique purpose. The butterfly skin that was revealed last year won't actually be coming until August. They're working on more life skills, so like adding on to fishing, cooking, and expeditions. We will get new skill points, but not until the next big expansion, like we currently got Talandre. They are working on a housing system, and they will add more ways to get obsidian to make it a little bit easier to get these black anvil weapons. They claim it's too early for them to release info on legendary gear, but that does kind of mean we probably won't get legendary gear in 12-man raids. If you check the database on Questlog, for some reason you can see a bunch of legendary gear here. This is probably data mined from the game files. You also have legendary materials here, all of which allude to, yeah, legendary growth stones, legendary gear where you're going to need those growth stones to upgrade it. Even legendary parchment needed to upgrade skills to legendary. All again seems very likely to come with the next big update when we get like tier 3 content. Like we have right now, tier 2. This brings then tier 3, which is a higher tier of gear again. I would recommend not to panic. You will have a lot of time before we get that. And in the meantime, I'm sure they'll add more ways for players to more easily catch up. Over time, it'll be easier to get tier 2 gear. It'll be easier to get growth stones as they add more and more ways to actually get all of these materials. Just right now, it seems a bit restricted, and it does make the game kind of hurt in the way for a free-to-play player when you look at PvP, because you have all these people being able to just pay, spend a ton of loot to skip the grind, max trade everything quickly. You are paying an arm and a leg to do so, but you do get a significant power advantage, which is the definition of pay to win, in your PvP fights. If you stick to PvE, you shouldn't have too much trouble. Yes, you might struggle to get to the high tiers in the ranking on the dimensional trials without like good tier 2 gear, but honestly, it's not something I would worry too much about as long as you can get your runes and your achievement rewards. But jumping back to the dev Q&A, we'll have a water gun fight with a summer event. They are delaying the Guardian growth system, where they said they would add effects that you could like level up Guardian bonuses. They will be increasing the dummy hit points because now we can kill it under like 30 seconds, but they have no plans to add a DPS meter. They'd rather you use a contribution system like they have right now. You beat up your boss and it displays how much contribution you had against the boss. They also said they will be increasing the rates of earning chaos runes. That will be interesting to see how it ties in with this new Runebook system. Basically, if you unlock a chaos rune, do you always keep that combination, and can you use that combination as many times as you want, or is it limited to how many chaos runes you've actually obtained of that item? I guess we'll have to see. And the artifact system will similarly get UI improvements, and I hope somewhat similar to the Runebook system, where you obtain an artifact piece and then that's preserved, and whenever you receive a duplicate or that stat again, it should just level up the item that you have. And then you should always have the ability to slot in that artifact piece regardless of inventory. You shouldn't need to keep all these pieces. It should just be tracked in a certain UI. And that's ultimately it. Again, I do recommend holding out onto your rune chests if you can. Upgrading them right now is pretty brutal. With a 77% chance it just doesn't upgrade. And so once you've got your set of purple runes and got your synergies on like weapons and accessories, I will just hold out onto the runes, because the new system will bring a streak breaker where if you obtain multiple of the same rune in a row and you keep failing to upgrade, at a certain point you will have a guaranteed success upgrade. So it should help quite a bit. But that's it for now. Thanks all for watching, and we'll see you guys around.